Welcome to Chesterfield Inn. My name's Sharon McCaskey, and along with my husband, we have been travelling for about 40 years of our married life, researching history all over the world. My passion individually is colonial history, and we're here now focusing a series on Rockingham. Rockingham is about 50 kilometres south of Perth. Now, my husband Mac is a historical research diver and I'm a storyteller. So one of the things I love is keeping people's names alive. So for example, have you heard that saying that you die 3 times? You die when you die when you're buried, and you die when the last person says your name. So today we're going to talk about John Chester and keep his name alive via this beautiful building, Chesterfield Inn. Now, Chesterfield Inn is one of the earliest land grants in the Rockingham region and is one of the region's oldest built structures. God, it's beautiful. Together with a number of other sites in East Rockingham, the place provides tangible evidence of the district's early history and is associated with a number of the district's pioneering families and other individuals who were prominent in the early history of the Rockingham region. This building is one of the earliest stopping places for travellers on the road between Fremantle and Mandurah, and is one of the few remaining wayside inns in Western Australia that was established during our state's first 50 years. You know, as travelling was so slow in colonial days, hotels like this must have been a very welcome sight for those people on those hot, dry roads and the women in those dresses. How many stories can be told from those coming in the front door? How many warm themselves up against a fire? You know what? If these walls could talk. Come on through. What a beautiful... Oh. This place played an important part in the social and civic development of the district, of the oldest, actually, it was one of the oldest commercial buildings in the city of Rockingham. In fact, I think it was the district's first post office. During the time, it was everything for everyone in the region, including being the social hub of the newly formed district. The inn was very popular, and it is said, though perhaps with error, that Lord Forrest spent his honeymoon here. Though we do know a number of married couples did spend their honeymoon at the inn, as it was a fair distance from both Fremantle and Perth, and therefore most suitable as a holiday destination. The building was served as both a homestead and an inn for over 80 years. So, how did it all begin? Well, in 1853, James Herbert arrived on the Palestine. He soon invested his money into hotels. One was in Guildford and the other one was in Fremantle. But whilst on a trip on the track between Mandurah and Fremantle, he realised there needed to be an overnight establishment at the halfway point. So he built Herbert's Bush Inn here at East Rockingham. The area's soil was fertile and it had lots of water. So the town of Rockingham was formed along the Mandurah Road, and the inn playing a major part in the district's establishment. Many of our pioneer families can actually trace themselves back to the farms along this road. And the Bush Inn ran with a free licence for the first 2 years. That was due to it being away from a settlement. But once the pioneer settlers moved in and around the inn, James needed to apply for a licence, and he named the inn the Rockingham Arms. It went through a few owners, and then John Chester purchased it and thus became known as the Chesterfield Inn. You know, in 1870, the Wanless brothers applied for 500,000 acres of timberland in Jarrahdale, but they were granted 250,000 acres, but on the condition they build a railway to the coast and a port. By 1872, they had built that port, and soon after, a new hotel was built at the Rockingham foreshore. We all know that one, the Rockingham Hotel. And it pretty much spelt the end of the Chesterfield Inn as the centre of town. With the introduction of new licensing laws and the making of a new main road some distance from this building, it reverted once again to a dwelling, though it is still known amongst all the district as the Chesterfield Inn. After 1912, the principal use of the place was a farmhouse owned by Ernest and Selina Huxtable, with the nearby land used as an encampment for the 10th Light Horse. Sadly, Mr. Huxtable was accidentally killed when he was thrown from a cart near the lighthouse at Coogee. After the building was damaged by a fire in 1912, the grounds were used mostly for grazing and a popular racing club, and the property remained as a dairy farm until around the 1970s. From around 1979, the former inn was used as a youth hostel and became known as Chesterfield House. And in 1982-81, Chesterfield House was acquired by the Industrial Land Development Authority for incorporation with a proposed East Rockingham Heavy Industry Park. In 1992, a second fire damaged Chesterfield House, and this time the tenants were evicted. In 1994, there were plans to demolish Chesterfield House to make way for a steel mill. And after a public protest, Chesterfield House was retained, and I remember being one of those protesters. As one of the state's only surviving 19th century hotels, Chesterfield Inn has earned a special place in the history and hearts of the Rockingham community. Oh, I love this place. It has a special part in my house and my heart as well. I love that there's even still original nails and things here when you look. How many people hung their hats here? Look, thank you very much for watching. Over time, we'll be uploading more and more stories, both on buildings, events, and people of the Rockingham region. Our Facebook group, The History of Rockingham and Kwinana, has thousands of people sharing stories on it, and basically they're engaging with each other, uploading photos, remembering the past. So thank you again. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and ring that bell, because that way every time we upload something, you get notified of what we've done. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the history of Rockingham. And again, ladies and gentlemen, see you at the next video and have a great day.